Hey YouTube, I'm Kishan and in this video we are going to create this amazing Netflix clone. The app uses React, Redux Toolkit, React Router, Style Components, Firebase, Node.js, Express, MongoDB and many more technologies. So before proceeding further, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. So now let me give you a demo of it. So this is the sign up page. This is the login page. Let's create a new user which is kishan5 at netflix.com. When we click this get started button, it will show the password and I will write the password and this will create a new user using the Firebase authentication system. Sign up. We have our new user and this is the home page and this is the Navbar. When we click here on the search bar, it hides and shows. Now when we click on this play button, we have this amazing player. Now this player also has picture in picture mode. So this is the picture in picture mode. You can see that here. So yeah, this is also visible on any of the window. So this is the picture in picture mode. Now let's go to the back page and we can close this now. Now we have this movies like the Netflix. When we hover over this, we see the trailer here and the name and everything. We have this beautiful slider like Netflix. We have multiple sections of movies and these movies are fetched by the TMDB API. So these are dynamic. Now we have this TV shows page and we can filter this according to the genres. So when we click other genre, so it fetches another movie. We can also play this back. Now let's head over to this movies page. So we have the genres option here also. So movies changes accordingly. Now we can add the movies to our liked page. So yeah, this is the liked page and this is the liked movie. We can add multiple movies here. Add, 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 add and add. Let's head over to my list and these all movies are added. This is using the MongoDB and we can remove this as well. Remove this, this and this. So yeah, this is a full stack Netflix clone. Now we'll log out from the application. And now without wasting any further time, let's get started to create this amazing Netflix clone. Again, before proceeding further, please like the video and subscribe to the channel so that you get notified every time I post a new video. Now let's get started. So now I've opened a new VS Code and I'll open a terminal and we'll set up our React application. So I will write npx create -react -app at latest and the name of our React app, which is Netflix UI. This may take time to install. Wait for this to install. So our application has been successfully set up. Now we'll head over to Netflix UI directory, Netflix UI, and we'll install some dependencies by yarn add. So the first is Axios, then we need Firebase, then we'll need style components, then I think we need React icons, then we need React Redux for connecting Redux with React, then we need Redux Toolkit, so we'll write redux.js/toolkit. So yeah, then we also need React Router DOM for routing, React Router DOM. So these are the dependencies that we'll be using throughout the project for the UI. Hit enter. Now while this is being installed, I have this assets directory. You can find this from the GitHub link given in the description below. I'll move this to the source directory inside Netflix UI and I will delete some clutter files. We don't need this. CSS, SVG, these two, delete, and inside index.js, we'll remove this function calls. Inside app.js, I'll do one thing. I'll rename this to app.jsx Node.jsx, delete all of this code, write RFC, and yeah, while this is being installed, let's create new directories, which is components and pages. So all our pages of React would be inside this pages directory, and the components would be inside this components. Now let's also create a new folder as utils and a store dot not a file, just a directory as store for Redux. Now let's start our application to test if it is working. Yarn start. Everything should work as expected. Yeah, we have our app component here. Now let's close this and we'll head over to pages, and I'll create new pages here. First is login.jsx, then we'll have signup.jsx. At the end we'll have netflix.jsx. We'll write RFC in all of the components to create the component. Now inside app.jsx we are going to import this, so we are going to remove this div, right, brackets, and inside the brackets we'll import the browser router first. Browser router, this should be imported from React Router DOM, so I'll write import from RRD, and this would be browser router. Then we would need route and the routes. Hit enter, and now inside this we'll have the routes, and inside the routes we'll have individual route component. So this route would be exact path would be /login, and we'll provide an element here. Element would be the login component, login. I'll copy this route, paste it 2 times, and this would be sign up, this would be Netflix, and the path would be sign up, and this would be Netflix, or else I'll just have this as / only, not Netflix. Now let's see, yeah, we have a Netflix component here. Now we'll head over to sign up. Yeah, everything is working. So our base React setup is complete. Now we'll create the sign up component and connect it with the Firebase. So let's do that. So now before creating the component, we'll head over to firebase.google.com and we'll head over to console here, and we'll register our new project here. So we'll write React Netflix clone as the project name. Continue, select an account, default account, create project. This may take time, so I'll skip it. Okay, so our project is successfully set up. So now let's hit the continue button. We'll be redirected to the project. We'll register a web component. This would be Netflix clone. This should be anything. Register app. And we'll copy this config. We'll do one thing. I'll copy all of this and head over to I think utils here, and inside here I'll create a new file as firebase-config.js. I'll paste it here. We'll remove the comments here because we don't need this, and not the analytics. We'll get the auth, so we'll write import get auth from Firebase /auth, and we have initialized the Firebase application, and we'll export Firebase auth is equals to get auth. So we'll pass in our application. So this Firebase auth will point to our Netflix clone application. So that's it. So our Firebase setup is complete. We'll also do one thing. We'll head over to authentication here, and we'll register and sign up method. Get started. We have this email and password. We'll enable this, save. So yeah, our users will be available here. So we'll check it after our component is created. So let's do that. So now let's head over to signup.jsx, and what should we do here? So first we'll import some things. So first we'll be needing, I think, background image. So we'll write import background image is equals to, not is equals to, from assets, and this would be background image. I think background image should be a component, not an asset. So we'll remove this, and we'll create a new component as background image.jsx, and a new component as header.jsx. header.jsx. Now in here we'll write RFC. Now inside the sign up, let's have a markup first. So first we'll have the styled, import styled from style components. Then we'll create a container. Container is equals to styled dot div, and we'll replace this divs with the container. Now first we'll have the background image here, background image. After that we'll have header, then we'll have a div with a class name of body dot flex dot column dot acenter dot jcenter. I think we have to register this classes inside the index.css, not register, we have to create them. We'll create it. Then we have a div with a class name of text and a flex and a column. Inside that we'll have h1, which would be unlimited movies, TV shows and more. Then we'll have an h4, watch anywhere, cancel anytime. After that we'll have an h6, which will have ready to watch, enter your email to create or restart membership. That's it. So after this div we'll have an div with a class name of form. Inside that we'll have our input type would be email, placeholder would be email address. Then we'll also give it a name of email, and after this we'll have an input with type as password, password, then a placeholder as password and a name as password as well. Name, password, that's it. And after this we'll have a button which will have text as get started, and after this button we'll have another button which would have text as login. Hit save. Let's check everything here. Yeah, we have everything here. So this is unlimited. Now first we'll have the background image here, so let's have that first. So for that, what should we do? Let's head over to the background image here. I'll remove this. Inside it we have just image, so let's import the background. Import background from assets, and this should be login.jpg. Then we'll import styled from style components. This should be an container. Const container is equals to styled dot dev. We'll replace this with container, and the source would be background, and this should be background as well. Let's check. We have our image and the text is here. So what we'll do is we'll fix this image as the background and grab all of this text over this image. So first let's give this image an height of 100 viewport height, a width of 100 viewport width. Let's grab the image, give it a height of 100 viewport height, grab the width and we'll give it a 100 viewport width. That's it. Image is fixed now. So now let's grab this content and place it over here. So for that we should move to sign up, and we'll give it a position of relative. Select the content, give it a position of absolute, then we'll give it a top of 0, a left of 0, and a background color would be RGBA 0.5. Then we'll give it a height of 100 viewport height. We'll give it a width of 100 viewport width, and we'll give it a display of grid and a grid template column, not grid template column, rows of 15 viewport height and 85 viewport height. Surprisingly, this should be on the top. Why it is not? Did we place the content? Yeah, we missed the content. So we'll have an content div here, and this should be wrap here. Yeah, everything is at top here. That's looking great. And so now let's create the header component here. So inside the header we'll have the logo of Netflix and the login and sign in button. So first I will import the styled, import styled from style components. Then we'll have const container is equals to style.dev. Then we'll grab the Netflix logo, import logo from assets and logo.png. Now we'll replace this div with the container, and this header will have the logo. Inside the logo we'll have an image. The image would be the logo and the alternate text would be logo. After this we'll have an button which would have login or sign in. So we'll check this from props dot login. If the props has provided a login prop, then we'll write login, or else we need the sign in text. Sign in, the prop should be here, props. Then we'll have a use navigate here, use navigate from React Router DOM. This is for navigation, programmatically navigate. That's it. Now whenever we click on this button, on click, we'll check navigate. First we'll call the navigate, and inside the navigate we'll check if there is a login prop, then we want it to redirect to login page, or else we want it to redirect to sign up page. Let's see if it is here. Yeah, that is here, but I don't see our sign in button is here. I think we need to style this further. Yeah, let's style this further first. So in here let's write padding of 0 and 4 rem. Then we will write logo image height of 5 rem. Then we'll grab the button, give it a padding of 0.5 rem, 1 rem. Okay, my bad. Cut this, paste. Then background color, this should be hexadecimal E509 14. That's it. After this we'll give it a border of none. Then we'll give it a cursor of pointer. We'll also give it a color of white. Give it a border radius of 0.2 rem. Then we'll give it a font weight of bolder, font size as well of 1.5 rem, 1.0.05 rem. That's it. Let's check. Yeah, it is here, but I don't think this is working. Let's open the console. Do we have any error? No, we do not have any error. On click, navigate, use navigate. Why is this not working? Let's leave it for now. We'll check it afterwards. Let's give it a class name here of flex a center and j between. And let's head over to index.css and write these styles. Let's remove this margin. Let the margin be there for now. Then we'll remove this code component, and here we'll give it a background color of black and a color of white. Then we'll select the star and give it a margin of 0, padding of 0, and a box sizing of border box. Then we'll select HTML and body, and give it a overflow X of hidden. overflow X hidden. Then we'll select body and WebKit scroll bar. We do not need any scroll bar, so we'll give it a display of none. Then we'll select flex. This is a class name, so we'll give it a display of flex column, flex direction of column. This is just the utility classes which is being used in majority of components. So for not repeating them, I have written it here: J center, J between, and justify content center. After this, A center, align items center. That's it. Let's check it. Yeah, everything is looking perfect. Let's head over to login. I think we have to pass the login prop. Let's head over to sign up and I'll pass the login prop here. Login. Yeah, this is working now. But why this is in center? Header, line center, justify content between. Justify content between is not working. Flex A center, J between. So let's head over to index.css. J between, justify content, space between. Is the class name proper? Yeah, it is. Let's inspect this. Justify content center, J between. Okay, this should be J center. My mistake. J center. Yeah, this is looking perfect now. Now let's style this. So let's head over to signup.jsx, and now first we'll be creating some states here. So before creating the states, I think we should style this first. So yeah, let's style this. At here inside the content, let me shrink this more so you can see. Okay, I think this is the smallest size it could shrink to. Inside this we'll have the body, give it a gap of 1 rem. Then we'll select the text and give it a gap of 1 rem as well. Then we'll give it a text align of center. Then let's give it a font size of 2 rem. Let's select H1, give it a padding of 0 and 25 rem. That's great. Now after this we'll select the form, display of grid. Then we'll give it a grid template columns, and for now this should be commented. We'll do this later when we set up our state grid template columns. After that we'll give it a width of 60%. Then let's select the input, color of black, border of none. Give it a padding of 1.5 rem, a font size of 1.2 rem. Trust me, this is gonna look better. Let me complete the style first. Solid black. Then when we focus over this, we don't need any outline. none. Then after this, let's select the button and head over to header.jsx, and I'm gonna copy the styles from here. Background, padding, yeah, everything is same. That's it. Then after this, we'll have another button and everything will go same for this. Let's remove the border radius from this button. Yeah, this is good. Now we'll have a grid here. So let's do that. For that grid, first we'll have to create a state. So above here, I will write use state, and this would be false. The state would be for showing the password button or the get started button. So first we'll write show password, set show password, then at the end here, first we'll inside the container we'll pass show password equals to show password, and in the get started here, what we will do is we'll write not show password, then we want to show this component, or else, and on the click of this, on click set show password, set show password to true. Now inside of here, this is name, what should be done here? If show password is true, then only we want to show this input. That's it. Now let's set up our grid at the end. So inside the form uncomment this. So grid template columns would be show password. Let me increase the size. Show password. If show password is true, then we will return 1FR and 1FR. Let me increase the size so you can see. 1FR, 1FR, and if it is not, we need 2FR, 1FR. That's it. So yeah, this is looking great. Now when we click over this button, get started, it will show this, and this will show login. This should show the sign up, not login. So let's head over to here, and this should be sign up. Now let's create a state for maintaining the values. So for that, we'll write const form values and set form values equals to use state. We'll create email as blank, password as blank. So after this, what we'll do is inside this input, we'll control this using value as form values dot email. Then we'll have an on change here, on change. This should be set form values, set form values We'll grab the event and we'll set form values first, and we'll write e dot target dot name and e dot target dot value. That's it. So what we are doing here is we'll grab the event object, set the form value and destructure the current form value. So here we are just setting the email, the password, but the password string should remain the same. So we are destructuring it, and then we'll write e.target.name, which is email, and e.target.value, which is the value of this input. So that's it. Now let's copy this. I'm gonna copy this and we'll just do the same for password, and we will change this to password. That's it. Now let's create a handler to handle the sign in. So we'll have const handle sign in equals to async, and we'll just console the form values first. Form values, so this should be called on the click of this button. On click, handle sign in, we'll pass handle sign in. That's it. Let's do our stuff here. I'll write Kishan Shade 21, get started, password abcd12, and a component is changing an uncontrolled input to be controlled. We'll fix this. Sign up, email and password. Let's refresh. Yeah, the error is gone. abcd12, sign up. We don't have any errors. So now let's send this to Firebase and create the user. So for that, we'll remove this. We'll wrap our code into try catch block. Try catch error console.log error. If there are any errors, this won't break our application, and catch the error and console it. We'll write const email and password from form values. We are just destructuring it from form values, and we'll write await create user with email and password. This function is imported from Firebase auth, and will pass the Firebase auth first. Firebase auth from Firebase config, which is the pointing of our app, and will pass email and password. That's it. Now let's refresh this. As of now, we won't be having any users here. Let's create a user, sign up and refresh. We have the user here. So yeah, our sign up functionality is completed with everything. I think there is one thing that is remaining. As soon as our auth state is changed, then this hook is provided by Firebase. Will pass the Firebase auth and will have the callback function, and here we'll get the current user, and if there is a current user, then we will navigate to the slash, which is the Netflix component. Let's refresh this. I think we must have missed something. The email should be changed. Let's write 22 here. Sign up. Refresh. Yeah, there should be any errors here. We have this error, invalid hook call. I think this isn't imported on auth state changed. Let's refresh. We still have the error. Invalid hook call. Hooks can only be called inside of the body of a function component. This could happen So where this error is coming from? Signup.jsx. Okay, the navigate should be small, the n should be small. That's it. Navigate. Okay, we don't have the navigate here. Let's copy that from header. Copy, sign up, paste, use navigate. Let's import that also. Everything should be working. Yeah, we have been redirected to the Netflix. So for moving back, we need to go to this application and we'll have this index.db and we'll just delete these databases. Delete and delete. Now let's head over to login.jsx and create the login functionality. So now we'll do the login component. For that, I'm going to copy all of this code from signup.jsx and head over to login.jsx and paste it, and I will delete all this from here. Let's do one thing. Let's remove everything. We'll copy it again as and when we'll need it. Then we'll change this to login and we'll change this method to sign in with email and password. We'll remove this import. That's it. We don't need the background. Yeah, we need the background image. We don't need this navigate. Yeah, that's it. Now let's write the markup. So the markup is going to be pretty simple. Inside the container, we'll have the background image. Then we'll have a div with content. Inside that, we'll have the header. After the header, we'll have a form container, a flex column, a line item center, a center, which is, then we'll need GA center, hit enter, and inside this we'll have another div with class names as form, flex, column, a center, J center. That's it. Inside this we'll have a title div. Inside that we'll have an h3 with text as login. After this we'll have a container with class name as flex and column, and inside this I'm going to go to sign up and I'm going to copy these both inputs in this button. Copy, head over to login, paste, and I'm going to remove this conditional show password, this, also this. I'm going to remove this and we will change this get started as log in. Then we made a mistake here while copying. We need this component, login. That's it. I think we omitted the on change. That's it. Everything should work perfectly. Also, we don't need this. And this function would be handle login. Handle login. Let's write here handle login. We don't want to pass anything, so we will just pass in the reference here. That's it. Let's head over here. Yeah, it's great. Now let's try to log in. ABCD12 login. Yeah, it's working perfectly. Let me try one thing. I have to delete the user, delete database. Okay, delete database. Let's head over to login. Let's style this first. So in here, what we don't need is from the body, we are going to remove all of this. After this, that's it. So now inside the content, we'll select the form container, give it a gap of 2 rem, give it a height of 85 viewport width, 85 viewport height. Then we'll select the form, give it a padding of 2 rem, background color would be hexadecimal 000000 B0. This is B0. After this, we'll give the width of 25 viewport width, a gap of 2 rem. Let me do one thing. Let me shrink this so you can see perfectly what's going on here. Gap 2 rem, color of white. This is color property. Then let's select the container, give it a gap of 2 rem. Then select the input inside it, give it a padding of 0.5 rem and 1 rem, and let's also supply a width of 15 rem. That's it. Then I think we'll have the styles for button. Let's copy the styles from Signup. Not this one, because this has a border radius. Copy, head over to login, paste. That's it. It's looking perfect. Now all that is left is to center it here. And why is it not working? I'm not sure about that. I think we won't have supplied class names. So on the form container, we should have flex and there shouldn't be any hyphen here. Yeah, it is perfect. Now let's log in. ABCD. I'll just write a wrong password to see if it is being logged in. No, we are not being logged in. I'll write ABCD12, the correct password. And it's still not being logged in. Why is it happening? Let me write the password again, ABCD12, login. Do we have any error in the console? Failed to load the server. I think we need to restart, refresh the page because we deleted the databases. ABCD12. Yeah, it's working now. Perfect. So now let's have the navbar here of the Netflix and the home component here. Let's do that. Head over to VS Code. So now let's head over to netflix.jsx, and inside the components we'll create a new component named as navbar.jsx. Alright, RFC. Now inside the Netflix here, what we'll do is we'll make a state here, use state, and this is going to be false, and the names would be scrolled is scrolled and set is scrolled. That's it. And now we'll do one thing. We'll have a window.onScroll. We'll register an event listener here. Whenever it is scrolled, we'll check the window dot page y offset. If it is equals to 0, then we'll set as scrolls to false, or else we'll set it to true, and we'll return window dot onScroll equals to null. This is going to be an function, and we'll call the navbar here, navbar, and we'll pass the is scrolled prop here, is scrolled. I'll explain this functionality when the navbar is complete. So we'll head over to navbar.jsx and let's child the navbar here. So what should we do here first? Let's create a styled container. So we'll write const styled. Sorry, we have to import style from style components. Const container is equals to style dot div, and we'll have a container here. Now let's create a links array. Links equals to name. We need object which would have name as home, then the link would be slash. I'm gonna copy this and paste it. Let's change the link to TV. This is going to be movies. This should be MyList, and let's have the text here, MyList, movies and TV shows. That's it. Now inside this navbar we'll have a nav with a class name of flex, and we'll have the dynamic class here. So flex, and after that we'll check if there is a is scrolled prop here. So we need to destructure that from here, is scrolled, and I'm going to use that here, is scrolled. If it is true, then we'll pass on the scrolled class, or else we'll have the empty class here written. Now inside this nav we'll have a div with a class name of left, of flex, and align items of center. Then let me do one thing. We can shrink this so you can see everything. Yeah. Then inside here we'll have a brand. Also we'll pass flex, a center, j center, and inside of here we'll pass image source as a logo. This is also the logo. Let's import the logo from the assets. Import logo from assets, logo.png, save. The logo is here. Now after this div we'll have a ul with a class name of links and a flex. Inside that we'll use the links array and map it. We'll destructure the name and link, and we'll return the li with a link component. Here goes the name, and at the to prop would have the link. Also we'll pass a key here. Key would be the name. That's it. Unexpected use of name. Okay, this is name here, not pname. That's it. So after this div, we'll have a right flex a center. Then inside that, we'll have a div with a class name of search. And this is going to be dynamic. Backticks. Now I think we need to create two states here. So that should be const show search and set show search. This is for showing and hiding the search. Use state as false. Copy this, paste it. Let's change these values. This is input hover. Whenever we hover over this search input, we'll set it inside this state. Set input hover. And this is also false. Now let's use it here. Inside the search, we'll check if show search is true. Then we want to add the show search class, or else we don't want to add anything. That's it. Now inside here goes the button, and the text would be FA search. FA search should be imported from Font Awesome, from the React icons package. So that should be imported from React icons /FA, and this is FA search. That's it. Now we'll also provide on focus event here. On focus, will set show search to true. Whenever we focus over this, so we want to show the input, then whenever we don't have the focus here, we will first check if there is not input hover. If not, then we'll set show search to false. I'll explain this code in a minute. Then after this button, we'll have the input, type as text, placeholder as search, as capital. Now on mouse enter, we'll set input hover to true, and on mouse exit, on mouse leave, we'll set input hover to false. That's it. And on blur, we'll set show search to false, as well as set input hover to false. That's it. And after this div, we'll have another button, and this would have FA power off, FA power off, and On click here, we want to sign out the user. Sign out should be inputted from Firebase auth. Sign out, and we'll pass the Firebase auth here. That's it. Why anything is not being loaded here? Navbar, everything is perfect. Let's head over to netflix.jsx. Navbar is here. Let's write any text here. H1 ABCD, a button with random text. Yeah, there is nothing. Don't think we are inside this component. Let's head over to app.js and check what route we have written. The path is /. It should work. Let's open the DOM. Body. Oh, we don't have anything inside the root. Let's head over to login. Yeah, login is coming, but there is no content inside the / route. Element is Netflix. Let's head over to Netflix. I think let's reload the application. Why any content is not coming? Return Netflix. Let me resolve this issue. Okay, so I have found the issue. So inside the navbar.jsx, here inside the links.map, we need to wrap this around curly braces to destructure it. Curly braces, that's it. Yeah, we have our content here. So let's remove this. Head over to Netflix. Remove this. That's it. Let's head over to navbar.jsx and let's style this now. So inside the container here, first we'll have the scrolled. If there is a scrolled class name, then we'll give it a background color of black. Then we'll select the nav. Position should be sticky. Then top of 0. Height would be 6.5 rem. Let's do one thing before all of this. Let me have this logo as small. Height 6.5 rem. Let's select the left. Select brand. Select image, and a height of 4 rem should be sufficient. Yeah, that's it. And let's give this left a gap of 2 rem. Now let's style this further. Height width of 100%. Then justify content, space between. Then position would be fixed. Yes, position would be fixed. Top is 0. Then let's give it a Z index of 2. Then let's give it a padding of 0 and 4 rem. Align items off center. Then a transition of 0.3 seconds is in out. Now after this 2 brackets, we'll select the links and give it a list style type of none, and also give it a gap of 2 rem. Then I think let's select the li and a inside it. Let's give it a color of white and a text decoration of none. That's it. It's perfect now. Now after this brackets, we'll select the right, and let me switch VS Code to this side. Now we'll give it a gap of 1 rem. Then we'll select the button, background color. Why it is not loading? Background color of transparent. Did we make any mistake? Okay, after this, let's give it a border of none, then cursor of pointer. When we focus over the button, we don't need any outline, outline none. Then we'll select the SVG inside it and give it a color of hexadecimal F34242. Then let's give it a font size also of 1.2 rem. After this, we'll select the search, give it a display of flex, gap of 0.4 rem, align items of center, justify content of center, a padding of 0.2 rem, padding left of 0.5 rem. That's it. Now let's select the button, give it a background color of transparent, and I think anything else is not necessary. Let's select the SVG and give it a color of white. That's it. Now after this button, let's select the input and we'll give the width of 0, opacity of 0, visibility of hidden, transition of 0.3 seconds is in out, and a background color of transparent. After this, we'll give it a border of none. Also, we'll give it a color of white. Then when we focus over this, so inside this focus, we'll give it an outline of none. That's it. Now when we have the show search class, we'll give it a border of 1px solid white. We'll give it a background color of RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.6. Also, let's select the input, give it a width of 100%, opacity of 1, visibility of visible, and a padding of 0.3 rem. That's it. Let's test it. Yes, it is coming and going. We can type it. Everything works perfect. Now let's test this logout functionality. We are not being logged out. Why is that? Do we have any error in the console? Let's head over to Navbar here. On click, sign out, Firebase auth. Is this function imported at the top? Firebase auth sign out is imported. So let's do one thing. Is this button being clicked? Alert. Hello. That's it. Alert. We have the alert, but Firebase is not able to sign out our user. Let's sign out again. It's not working. Why is that? Sign out, Firebase auth. Let's head over to login. Yeah, I think we are being logged out, but what is being happening is that we haven't written any navigate function here, so we need to write it inside the Netflix. Yeah, we can write it here as well on auth state changed. So let's head over to login.jsx and we'll copy this function. Copy, head over to Navbar, paste it here. Let's import this on state changed, and if there is not a current user, then we want to navigate to the login. Navigate is not a function, so we have to create that. Const navigate is equals to use navigate. Yeah, it is automatically, we are being redirected. Now let's log in. ABCD12 login, log out. Let's remove that alert. So logout functionality is complete and our navbar is also complete. Now let's have the hero component here of Netflix. Let's head over to netflix.jsx, and inside of here we'll add our more markup here. So first I'm gonna import some images. So import background image from assets and home.jpg. After this we're gonna import a movie logo from assets, and this is home title.webp. That's it. So this is all we are going to import, and we are going to import some icons from React icons. So let's import that also. Import fa play from React icons fa, and let's copy this, paste it, and the other would be from AI, and this is AI outline info circle. That's it. Now after this navbar here we'll write a div with a class name of hero. Inside that we'll have an image source would be background image, and the alt text would be background. Let's supply it a class name that would be background image. After this div, after this we'll have a container div. Inside that we'll have the logo. Inside the logo we'll have an image tag which would have movie logo as source, and this is going to be movie logo. After this div we'll have div with class name as buttons and flex. Inside that we'll have a button with the class name as flex jcenter, and a center. The text would be FA play with play as text. After this, let's copy this, paste it, and this is going to be AI outline circle, info circle, and this is going to be more info. That's it. So our markup is done. So we have to style this. So let's do this. And actually, yeah, our navbar is working when so this code, yeah, this one. So whenever we scroll it, we have registered an event listener. So whenever the page scroll height is more than 0, then we will supply the is scrolled prop to the navbar, and whenever the is scroll prop is true, so the navbar background color would be black instead of transparent. So that was for that. So now let's style this more. So let me shrink this, and we have to convert this to the style component. So I will import styled from style components, then we'll create a const container is equals to style.div, and we are going to replace this with the container, and this is going to be container as well. That's it. Now inside this div, first we'll give it a background color of black. Then let's select the hero, give it a position of relative, and select the background image, and we'll give it a filter of brightness of 60%. That's it. So the brightness is decreased. Now let's select the image and give it a height of 100 viewport height and a width of 100 viewport height and a width of 100, not 100, yeah, 100 viewport width. That's it. Now let's select the container and give it a position of absolute, and we'll give it a bottom of 5 rem. That's it. Now let's select the logo and the image inside it, give it a width of 100% and a height of 100% as well, height width 100%, and the margin left would be 5 rem, margin left 5 rem. Now after that we'll have the buttons. This is the class, so dot buttons, margin 5 rem. After that we'll have it a gap of 2 rem. Then we'll select the button, font size of 1.4 rem and gap of 1 rem. Border radius would be 0.2 rem. A padding of 0.5 rem and a padding left and right, padding left of 2 rem, padding right would be 2.4 rem. That's it. Now let's give it a border of none. After that we'll give it a cursor of pointer, transition 0.3 seconds, ease in out, and whenever we hover over this, we want the opacity to 0.8, and we'll select the ampersand nth of type, and this is going to be second, and we'll give it a background color of RGBA 109, 110 and 0.7. Let's give it a color of white, and we'll select the SVG inside it and give it a font size of 1.8 rem. This is color. That's it. Yeah, so our hero section is also styled. Now whenever we click over this button, we want to be redirected to the player. So for that, let's create the player component first. So here I'll create a new page as player.jsx, player.jsx, rfc, and inside player what we'll be doing is, so inside of here first we'll import the styled, import styled, then we'll import some react icons. So this is bs from react icons bs, and this is bs arrow left. That's it. After this, let's import the video, import video from assets and video.mp4. If you don't find this video inside the GitHub link, you can paste any of your video inside this, it doesn't matter. After this, we'll create a const container is equals to styled.dev, and we'll replace this with container. And now inside of this, let's have a div with a class name of player, div with a class name of player. Inside that we'll have the back button, back would have bs arrow left, and after this we'll have the video tag, video with the source as video, and we'll also pass the autoplay, then we'll pass loop, we'll pass controls, and we'll pass muted. That's it. Now let's import the use navigate hook from react router DOM and create the navigation const navigate equals, so this should be about the return. Navigate is equals to use navigate, and on click of this we want to navigate to -1, which is the route below, before the route we head over to the video page. So now inside app.jsx I'll create a new route here. Route will pass exact path equals player element equals to video, no, player. That's it. Now let's head over to netflix.jsx, and on this button, on the click of this, on click, we want to navigate to the player page. So for that we also have to import the use navigate hook. Let's copy that from the player and paste it here. Let's also import use navigate. That's it. Let's click over this. Yeah, we are inside the player page, but we have to style this, so let's do that. Now inside the player, what should be done? Yeah, so first we'll select the player inside this, player width of 100 viewport width and a height of 100 viewport height. Then we'll select the back, give it a position of absolute and padding of 2 rem, z index of 1. Then let's select the SVG, give it a font size of 3 rem, cursor of pointer. Let's select the video, give it a height of 100%, a width of 100%, and an object fit of cover. That's it. Yeah, it's looking perfect now. Also, the picture in picture mode would be here because of the native video element. Play. Yeah, it's working perfectly. So now we'll grab the movies from the TMDB API. For that, first we have to set up our Redux, and we'll call the API for the TMDB API from Redux Toolkit only. So let's do that. So now first we'll get the TMDB API from the TMDB website. So head over to this website. You can find the URL of the website from description of the video. So we are going to use the MongoDB database API. So for getting the API, go to the introduction section and click here the API link, then join TMDB, grab a username. I'll write Kishan21. Password would be anything of my choice. And email would be, I think, email is already taken. No worries. I have another email account. Account verification required. So I might have received an email link in my email address. So I'll do that. You check your email address if you have received any. Okay, so I click the link and I will log into my account. So inside this page, head over to this create section, click this developer, accept the agreement. Name of our application would be Netflix clone. There's no URL, we'll just write Netflix clone, Kishan, shade, and this is this temporary address, temporary address to state. I'll write London, state United States, pin code would be 36125 phone number would be 987456. This is not my number, this is just an temporary number. Submit. Authentication application URL is required. Application please summary. So we will create a YouTube clone for the YouTube, not a YouTube clone, Netflix clone for YouTube, and application URL, I'll just copy the github.com/coolkishan. I'll just copy this and we'll try to paste this, submit, and yeah, it worked. We need this API key, so I'm gonna copy this and I'll just have this page open, and when I need it I'll just copy it. So now what we will do is we'll just create a constants file and have the API key stored in there. So head over to this utils, we'll create a constants.js. I will write export const API underscore key, and this is gonna be that key. After that we'll write export const TMDB underscore base underscore URL. equals to https://API, this is just 2/API dot TMDB, not TMDB, the movie db dot org/3. That's it. So I think we can close this page and the GitHub page. We need this page open. We don't need this page open, but if you want to make any other type of queries, you can search it from here and you can find it and integrate with your application. So we'll close this, and now we'll set up our store, which is Redux store, index.js, and in here what we will do is first we'll import some files from at Redux.js Toolkit, and this would be configure store, then create async thunk and create slice. That's it. Now we'll create an initial state equals to, we'll have movies as blank array, then genres loaded as false, and genres as in simple array. Now after this, what should we do? We'll create a new slice, which is Netflix slice equals to create slice, and the name of slice would be Netflix. Then we'll pass in initial state. That's it. Then we'll need the extra reducers, so let's pass that also. Extra reducers, we'll have the builder and we'll have the object. For now this is gonna be empty, and after that we'll export const store equals to configure store, and we'll pass the reducer as the Netflix, and this is going to be Netflix slice dot reducer. Now let's head over to index.js, and in here we'll wrap this app component inside a provider, and we'll pass the store as our Redux store. So we'll import provider from React Redux. That's it, and we don't have any error. Do we? No, we don't have any error. So our React Redux setup is complete. Sorry, not React Redux, our Redux Toolkit setup is complete. So now let's grab the genres from the MongoDB API that is gonna be used for the movies. So here, after the initial state, I will create a new function, export const get genres is equals to create async thunk, and I'm gonna pass an prefix that would be Netflix hyphen genres. This is Netflix, not Medflix. Netflix hyphen genres. Then we'll pass our async function here, async, and this is going to be const data from data is going to be from await, and we'll call our API, which is let's grab the name from constants, TMDB base URL. This is TMDB base URL. Then we'll have the genre route. In that we'll have the movie route. Oh, this is going to be out of this here, movie. Then we need the list, and we'll pass the API key here, API underscore key, and this is gonna be the API key. That's it. I think we have an error here. So async, this is async. That's it. Now I have to wrap this inside an Axios tool. So we'll write axios.get, axios.get, pass in there. Now let's console the data, console.log data, and now for calling, what we'll do is inside this extra reducers we'll add an case inside the builder case, and inside that we'll first get our jandas function, and we'll have the fulfilled state here, fulfilled, and then we have an function which is we get the state and the action. Inside the action we have the payload. So inside the payload we have our actual data which is written by the get jandas here. So we have to return data. So let's comment this for now, and we'll just write here state dot jandas equals to action dot payload and state dot jandas loaded as true. I'll explain why this jandas loaded property is used. Jandas is the movie jandas. When we console the data, I'll show you that what it is. So that's it. Now let's call this inside a use effect. Now let's head over to netflix.jsx, and inside here before the return we'll have the dispatch method. So we'll write const dispatch is equals to use dispatch, which would be imported from React Redux, and we'll have a use effect hook here, use effect, and we'll pass the arrow function, and we want to run this on the first render of our component only once, and we'll dispatch the get janras method, get janras. So I think we have to export the get janras from here. We have exported it, so no issues. Get janras, that's it. Now let's test it. Axios is not defined, get janras is not defined. So let's import the get janras, and inside the index.js, inside the store, we have to import this axios control space. Why is it not working? Axios is not defined. Axios.get. Let's import it manually. Import axios from axios. That's it. Let's open the console. Okay, we have 401 error. What is this? You must be granted a valid key. Okay, I think we haven't passed equals to here. API underscore key equals to. That should work. We have the arrays, genres array. So here it is, genres. We have all the genres according to the movies. That's it. Now let's grab the genres from this data, genres, and return the genres. Return genres. That's it. Data is not defined. Did I missed something here? Const data. Const data. Okay, so this isn't an issue. We just have to remove this console and everything would work as expected. Now we have the genres and we have stored that inside the uh, genres inside our initial state. So this empty array would be replaced by the genres that is returned from here. And now when the genres is loaded, after that we want to call the movies, because we are going to sort all the movies according to the genres. So for that, genres were needed first. So now inside the store.js, let's write another function to get the movies. So I'll write const fetch movies. After this, export const fetch movies. Fetch movies equals to fetch movies equals to create async thunk, and this is gonna be Netflix slash trending. This should be wrapped inside a string, and the pipe character is not needed. So we have written this as trending. Then we'll have the async function. So inside the function, the first argument is the arguments that are passed from the calling function. Like when we call this get genres, we can pass anything here. So we'll destructure the type from here. In the second argument is the thunk API itself. So from the thunk API, we want the current state. So from the current state, we'll get the genres. So what I'll write is thunk API. Thunk, you can write this anything, but for referencing, I'll write this as thunk API. So after this, we'll get const equals to thunk API equals to thunk API dot get state. So we'll get the state from the thunk API. So this would contain all the states. So from the state, we have the Netflix slice. So we get the Netflix slice, and from the Netflix slice, we want this genres. So what we'll do is we'll destructure it again and we'll write genres here. So we'll get the genres. Now what we'll do is we'll return a new function call here. So what I'll do is I'll write const get raw data is equals to an arrow function, and this would have an API call, the genres, and what other is needed. So I think we have to pass the paging here. Paging, that's it. So I'll explain the paging, why paging is needed afterwards. So paging would not be needed in this fetch movies, but whenever we are fetching the series, we want to fetch it by different pages. So we are using the paging method. Now what we'll do is we'll call the get raw data function, and we'll pass the API, which is $TMDB API, TMDB base URL, sorry. Then we need the discover, then we'll pass the type here. Types are different movies, series, TV seasons. So we'll pass that here, and the API key is going to be $API key, and we'll also pass with genres here is equals to dollar genre. So I think this is going to be no, I think we called a different API. So what I'll do is I'll just comment it down here, and we'll call it again return get raw data. This API was for getting the movies by genres, my bad. So I'll write TMDB base URL, then what we will do is trending, then $type, then week, and the API key is API key. So now what this is, so we'll get the trending URL by the types, which is movies, TV shows, and all. Then we want the trending by the week. So that's it. And now we'll pass the genres here, all the genres array, and we'll pass the true. I'll explain this true in a minute. So now inside this get raw data, what we will do is first we'll create a movies array. This will store all our movies. That's it. Now we'll loop through, let I equals to 1, and till the movies array dot length is less than 60 and I should be less than 10 and I plus plus. Now what we will do is we'll call an API await axios.get, and we'll pass the API here $API. That's it. And we'll get the data const data equals to await axios, and again this should be an async function, async, and from the data we'll get the results here. That's it. And we will also pass and another prop here, which would be paging. So inside here, if paging is true, then we want to pass ampersand page equals to $I, or else we want to pass nothing. I'll explain this in a minute. Then I'll create a new function, create array from raw data, and we'll pass the results, movies array, and the genres, and we'll return the movie array, return movies array, return movies array. I'll copy this and create a new function, const get raw data from array, which will have the results. Then I'll just write this as array, then movies array, and the genres. And give me a minute, I will explain this code, and this should be outside of this here. That's it. Let me complete this code and I will explain it line by line. So I'll write array dot for each. We'll grab the movie from this. Then we'll write const movie genres equals to an empty array. Then write movie dot genre underscore id dot for each genre, and we'll write const name equals to genres dot find, and destructure the id triple equals to genre. Then we want the name, and if there is a name, then we want movie genres dot push name dot name. Now after this, if there is a movie dot backdrop underscore path, Then we will push into movies array dot push an object with id as movie dot id, then name as movie dot original original name. If there is a original name, then we would like to pass movie dot original name, or else we'll pass movie dot original underscore title. That's it. Now image would be movie dot backdrop path, and then we'll get the genres as movie genres dot slice and 0 and 3. That's it. So our code is complete. Now let's call this inside the netflix.jsx. So inside the netflix.jsx, I'm gonna call this. First we'll get the genres loaded state. So I'll write genres loaded equals to use selector, and we'll have the state here, and we want to pass state dot netflix dot genres loaded. That's it. Now if the genres are loaded, then we'll call another use effect here. After this, first we'll check if genres are loaded, then we'll dispatch the fetch movies method, fetch movies, and this is going to have the prop type of all. That's it. Now let's head over to the index.js. I'm gonna explain this. Give me a minute. And here, what should we do here? Get raw data. Okay, so instead of returning here, I'll just remove this and write const data equals to get raw data, and after this I'll just console.log data, and this should be above here. That's it. Let's reload it. So we should have written await. We have written an await, promise pending. Array.forEach is not a function at create array. Okay, why is that? Array.forEach. Let's console the array here. Console.log array. So okay, so this is the array. So we have to pass the array.results here. What did we missed? Const data. Okay, this should be like this, and this should work now. Yeah. So what we are getting is we are calling the API, and when we call the API, we get this array. So here I'll show this by expanding it. So what we'll need is we'll need this backdrop path. So this backdrop path is the poster of the movie. Then we have all the genres ID. We don't have the genres name, so we pass the genres from here. So here first we got the genres array, then we pass that as here genres. So it is here now, and we also pass that to create array from raw data. So this results array it passed here, and we loop through it, and we first find the genres IDs, and from that we got that name, and if that movie has a backdrop path which is a poster, if that has a poster, then only we want this movie, and we'll push that inside the movies array. And what this code is, so what this mean is we only need the first three genres, we don't need more genres. Movie can have multiple genres, so that is for that. Now this code, what this loop is about. So what this loop will do is we want the movies array to have a minimum number of movies as 60, and the other condition is, but this loop should only loop through 10 times. So if i's value increases by 10, then this loop condition would be false, and if this movies arrays dot length is greater than 60, then also this loop will stop. So what this will do is we need minimum 60 movies. So for that, every API would only get 20 of movies. So we get 20, then again we loop through this again, we get 20, and this whole process takes inside 3 loops. If sometimes we get this movie dot backdrop path as empty, then we will skip this movie. So the 20 count would be decreased, and the i's value will be increased. So for not going this to infinite amount, we passed an hardbound value of I as 10. So that's it. That is very simple. Now I'll remove this console and I will return from here, return get raw data, and I'll also remove this console. Now at the end here we'll add a case. So what should we add here? Give me a minute, let me check. Yeah, what we'll do is I'm gonna copy this, paste it, and I'll replace this with fetch movies dot fulfilled. If it is fulfilled, then we want to store the state dot movies is equals to action dot payload, and state dot genres loaded is not needed here. That's it. So we got the movies from the API, and that is stored in our Redux store. Now let's use that inside the Netflix. So for using that, we'll use the use selector like the genres loaded. So what we'll do is const movies equals to use selector. We'll get the state, then we'll get state dot Netflix dot movies. That's it. And what I will do is let's console the movies here. Console dot log movies. That's it. Okay, it is running infinite amount of time. Let's stop this. I think we need, okay, it has stopped. Let's open one of it. So yeah, we have a name, genres array, everything which is as needed. That's it. Okay, so now what we will do is we'll create a slider as shown in the demo of the movies. So for that, movies was needed. So let's create that slider first. So let's do that. Now let's make the card slider component. For that, what we will do is we'll head over to components here and make 3 components, which is slider.jsx, write RFC here. Then we'll create another component named as card slider .jsx RFC, and last one is card.jsx, and we'll write RFC. That's it. Now head over to netflix.jsx, and at the end here we'll import the slider and pass it, and inside the slider here what we will do is we'll pass a prop of movies. So that would contain all the movies, That's it. So now our slider component here would have all the movies. So the slider component here, let's grab the movies here first. Now what this will have is, this will contain all the card sliders. So we'll have around 6 card sliders. So we'll write card slider here, and this would have a title of the first one would have trending now, and the data is equals to, will make a function here as get movies from range, const get movies from range equals to from to, and will return movies dot slice and from and to. So what this will do is, we only need 20 movies for every card slider. So we'll call this function get movies from range here, and we'll pass 0 and 10. So that should have the 10 movies. Now let's copy this, paste it 5 times, 1 2 3 4 5 and 6. So now this would be 10 and 20. This would be 20, 30, 40 and 50. Now let's change this. This would be 30, 40, 50 and 60. That's it. Now let's change the titles. So trending now, instead of trending now, we'll have, I think, new releases. This is just some random titles. You can write anything here. We'll write blockbuster movies, then we'll write popular of Netflix, popular on Netflix, then we'll write action movies, and the last would be epics. That's it. And yeah, our slider component is complete. Now let's head over to card slider. What should we do here? So there is gonna be many things here, but first we'll just style the card. So for that we'll just have the data here, data and title. So we'll have data and the title. And what should we do here? I'll just do one thing. Inside the div, I'll map data dot map with movie and index. Will make this improved after we have styled the card component. So we'll call the card here card, and we'll pass movie data as movie, index as the index, and key as movie.id. That's it. Let's check here. Everything is working. We have this card components here. That's it. This card should be more, not this much. I don't know why. Let's head over to card.jsx and improve this further. So the main thing now we are gonna style is here. What we will do is, first let's create this a style component. Styled const container is equals to styled, not minus equals to, is equals to style.div. Now let's replace this with container. Now inside this card, what should we do? Let's have the image here. Image source would be https://image.tmdb.org/t/p/ p/w500, and then we'll have the movie data.image. Movie data.image, we have to destructure the props here, so we'll get the movie data, and do we need anything else? We also need is liked as false. I'm not sure about that. Let me check inside the card slider. Are we passing anything? No, that's it. So we just need the movie data, and yeah, we'll also get the is liked here, is liked as false. This is not gonna be needed now, it would be needed afterwards, but we have written it. Movie, that's it. Let's check here. We have all the images here, but why there is only 10 of this? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 and 20. There are only 20. I'm not sure why is that, why other card sliders are not coming, but we can solve that issue afterwards. We just have to style this card first. So in here, now what should we do? Now let's create a state. So when we hover over this, we want to open that card. So for that, let's create a state, const state as hovered and is hovered. So const is hovered and set is hovered as use state, and this is going to be false initially. Then what do we need next? Yeah, that's it. We need only this much. Now inside this container we'll write on mouse enter, we want the set is hovered to be true, and on mouse leave we want set is hovered to false. That's it. Now after this image, what we will do is we'll check if the is hovered is true, then we need these JSX elements. So we'll have the hover class here, then we have inside the hover image video container, inside that we'll have image, and this is going to be the same image. So let me copy this, and when we click on this, on click, we want to navigate to player, and for navigate we have to create the use navigate hook. So we'll write const navigate equals to use navigate. That's it, navigate should work now. And after this we'll have a video element, the source would be video, we need to import it. So we'll go to player.jsx, and I'm going to copy this import, head over to card. The video is going to be same for everything. You can replace it with dynamically any video. Now video should also have autoplay as true, autoplay, then loop, muted, and we'll copy this on click. That's it. We don't want to pass the controls, and this should be self-closing tag. Now after this div, we have the info container, info dash container, then we'll give it a flex and a column, then we'll give it a h3. This would have a class name of name, then we'll pass on click as navigate player, navigate as slash player. So inside of here we'll pass movie data dot, what should we pass, name, yeah, movie data dot name. That's it. Now after this h3 we'll have another div of icons dot flex dot j dash between. Now inside that we'll have controls and flex, then would have IO play. So the icons should be imported. I almost forgot that. So import IO from React not React Redux, React icons IO5, and this is IO play circle sharp, IO play circle sharp, not chart, circle sharp. Let me write this again, IO play circle sharp. That's it. Now after this, what icon we need is from, let's copy this, paste it, and this is going to from RI package, and these icon is our thumb up fill and our thumb down fill. Then we would need the BS check from BS package. So Control V, BS, and this is going to be BS check. Then after that we'll need AI outline plus. So this is going to be from AI package and A out plus, yeah, AI outline plus, not circle, plus AI outline plus. That's it. Now after this we need from BI package BI, and this is going to be BI chevron down, BI chevron down, this one. That's it. This is the icons that we are gonna need. So let's write IO play circle sharp here. That's it. We'll give it a title of play for the tooltip. Now let's copy this on click. So we navigate to player. Now after this we'll have RI thumbs up fill, and the title would be like. Copy this, paste it, and this is RI thumbs down fill. The title would be dislike. That's it. Now we'll check if the movie is liked. Then we need BS check, and what we'll do is we'll give it a title and we'll write remove from list. This component is not gonna load now because this is going to be loaded from the liked pages. So we are not going to have a dispatch method now. Now I'll write AI outline plus, and what should I do here? I'll remove this bracket first, and I'll give it a title of add to my list, and will not supply it an on click listener now. We'll do that afterwards. Then we have this div, and in that div we'll have info. Inside that we'll have BI chevron down, Inside it, we'll give it a title of more info, title more info. That's it. Now after this div, we'll have another div of genres dot flex. Inside that, we'll have ul. We'll map the genres here, so we'll also give it a class name of flex, and we'll have the movie data here dot genres dot map. We'll grab the genre array. Let's close this as well, save it, and now we'll return. We don't need to write the return as it is only one statement, so we'll write li, and this is going to be genre. Let's pass key as genre, and let's remove this. This is also not needed. That's it. Yeah, so our markup is done for the cards. The text should not be visible now because yeah, it was visible. If you can see, yeah, it is here. So let's style this. So inside this here container, we are going to have many things. So let me shrink this, Control B, and first we'll give it a max width property of 230 pixels. Then we'll give it a width of 230 pixels. Give it a height of 100%. Then we'll give it a cursor of pointer. Then we'll give it a position of relative. After that, we'll select the image, border radius of 0.2 rem. Then what should we do next? We'll give it a width of 100%. Then we'll give it a height of 100% and a z index of 10. Let's give it a 10. Then let's select the hover and give it a z index of 90. This should be anything. We'll give it a height of max content. Give it a width of 20 rem. Then we'll give it a position of absolute. After that, we'll give it a top of -18 viewport height and a left of 0. So let's hover. We still have to decrease the video so it should be visible. Now let's select the, so first before doing that, let's give it a border radius of 0.3 rem, a box shadow of RGBA 0, 0, 0, 0.75 and 0 pixels, 3 pixels and 10 pixels. Then background color would be #181818. Then we'll give it a transition of 0.3 seconds, is in out. This should be is in out. Then we'll select image video container and give it a position of relative. Then we'll give it a height of 140 pixels. After this, we'll select the image, give it a width of 100%, a height of 140 pixel as well. Then we'll give it an object fit of cover. Then we'll give it a border radius of 0.3 rem. Give it a top of 0, z index of 4 and a position of absolute is needed. Let's style the video now. Then you might be able to see what we are doing. width 100%, height 140 pixels, then object fit of cover, then border radius of 0.3 rem, top of 0, z index of 5, and the position of absolute. That's it. Now let's check it. Okay, so the video is still not decreased. We have to fix that height width. Okay, I know the issue why it is happening. It is because we haven't given this a flex, so we need to do that, and then this should work perfectly. So let's head over to card slider and give this div a class name of flex, class name flex. It's still not working perfectly. We have to do something about this video. Let's head over to card.jsx, video width 100%. Let's give it a display of none to see the styles are being applied. No, the styles are not being applied, and I don't know why this is happening. Image video container, this should be video container. Now everything should be working. Yeah, let's remove the display none, remove. Yeah, it is working now, and now we just have to style this amount of section and our card component would be completed. So after this video we'll have the info container, and we'll give it a padding of 1 rem and a gap of 0.5 rem. Then we'll select the icons, controls, display flex, gap of 1 rem. Then we'll select the SVG, font size would be 2 rem, cursor would be pointer, the transition would be 0.3 seconds, is in out, and when we hover over it we want its color to hexadecimal B8. That's it. Now after this 3 brackets we'll have the genres. Inside genres we'll have UL, we'll give it a gap of 1 rem. Let's select the LI inside it. Inside LI we'll give it a padding right of 0.7 rem, and the first one by selecting n% first of type, and we'll give it a list style type of none. That should work now. Yeah, it is looking perfect, and we have the box shadow and everything is working, the tooltip, and when we click over this we are being navigated to the player. So now we just have to style the sliders so it would work. So now let's do that. So now let's have the card slider component. So here first I'll import style from style components, then const container. Let me remove this. Const container is equals to style dot div, and that goes inside here. Container down, container should have a class name of flex and column. Then what should we do next? Let's do one thing. We'll create a state of controls and for controls. So I'm gonna create a use state. This is going to be false initially, and const equals to use state. So show controls, set show controls. Then what should we do? We'll also create a use ref. So const list ref is equals to use ref. Then what should we do next? We'll create another state for the slider position. So I'll write const slider position and set slider position is equals to use state, and initially the slider position would be at 0. That's it. Now we'll add on mouse enter here. Whenever we enter into that cart slider, then we want to set its show control to true, so that we can see the controls of left and right direction, and whenever we leave we want to disable it. So this is on mouse leave. That's it. Now inside of here, first we'll grab the title here, so h1 title. Now inside of this we'll have a wrapper div, wrapper, and inside the wrapper first we'll have a div with a class name of slider action, then a left. Then we'll convert this to backticks and we'll wrap it around with curly braces. Now what we'll do is we'll see if the show controls is true, then only we want to show this div. So if the show controls is false, then we'll give it a none, or else we'll give it a empty class. Then we'll give it a flex, j center, a center. That's it. Now inside of this div we are gonna have AI outline left. That's it. And on click we want to handle the direction click with our function handle direction, and we'll pass as left. We have to create that function here, so we'll write handle direction handle. So this is const handle direction equals to direction and arrow function. That's it. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this div and cut it and paste it inside this div, and also with the class name I'll provide it a slider class name, and the ref would be list ref here. That's it. Now after this div, let's copy this, and after this div paste it. This is going to be AI outline right, and this direction would be right. Also this is going to be right. That's it. Now let's see. Yes, we have the directions. Now we first have to style this, so let's do that. So inside of here, let me shrink this so you can see it properly, and this is going to have a gap of 1 rem, then position of relative, then a padding of 2 rem and 0. H1 would have a margin left of 50 pixels. Then we'll select the wrapper. Inside the wrapper we have the slider. Then we'll give it a width of max content. Then we'll give it a gap of 1 rem. Then we'll give it a transform of translate x of 0. Then this is going to be 0 pixels, not 0. Then we'll give it a transition of 0.3 seconds is in out. That's it. Now let's give it a margin left, and this is going to be 50 pixels. That's it. Now let's select the slider action, and this is going to be having a position of absolute. Then give it a Z index of 99, also a height of 100%, then a top of 0, bottom of 0, width of 50 pixels, transition of 0.3 seconds is in out, and the SVG would have a font size of 2 rem. Now let's give the none a class of display none. Then so this is going to be out of this. Yeah, so the SVGs are gone. I'm going to comment this for now, so you can see that here. Now the left would have the left of 0, and the right would have the right of 0. Yeah, so both are here now. Now let's give it a display of none. So when we hover over this, only then the arrows would be visible. Now when we click over this, we want to scroll it. Why the other movies are not coming? We have to check it. So now when we click over this, we want to scroll this slider. So let's do that. So for that we have written this function handle direction. So what we'll do is, first we'll create a variable of distance is equals to list ref. So we'll grab the list ref, which is pointing to this list here, list ref dot current. Inside it we'll get the bounding client rectangle, get bounding client rect, and we'll get the x size of it and decrease it by 70. This is going to be 70 pixels. And after this, if the direction triple equals to left and slider position is greater than 0, then what we'll do is we'll give it a list ref dot current, list ref dot current dot style dot transform equals to translate x, and this is going to be 230 plus the distance. I'll explain this code in a minute. Now we'll set the slider position to slider position plus 1, and we will copy this, paste it, and this is going to be right here, right, and if the slider position is less than 4, then we want to decrease it with -30 plus distance, and we'll set the slider position to +1, and this is going to be -1. Now we'll test it. No, it is not working. Let me refresh this. Let me open the console. Do we have any error? No, we do not have any error. Let me console the list ref. Console.log list ref. We don't have any console here. Why is that? Okay, when we call this, it comes. Now we have div.flex.slider. Okay, so this is there, but why is the position not updating? Did we missed anything? Let me check. Did we wrote the translate x properly? Translate x 230 plus distance, and we wrote the pixels. This is correct. Did we pass the direction? Let's console the direction as well. Direction, clear it out. We have the direction proper, so left and right are being compared. Then slider position greater than 0, and this is less than 4. My bad. Yeah, it's working perfectly now. You can see that. So now what this function will do is, it is handling the left or right movement of this slider. So first what we will do is, we'll get the distance, the current distance, by this get bounding client rectangle, and we pass the list ref here to this div. So that is the size, the width of it. So we'll get the x-axis, so we'll get the width of it. Now if the direction that is passed is left, so if we have clicked here, so this will execute, or if we have clicked to the right side here, right arrow, then this will execute. And if it is left and the slider position is greater than 0, then only we want to move left. So if we click now, it won't do anything because the slider position is at 0. When we click here, then the slider position is at 1. So this is working now. So that is for that. And if the slider position is less than 4, then only we will be able to click the right button. If it is slider position is 4, then it won't work. Then if the condition fulfills, so what we'll do is, we have given the transform of 0 here, transform translate x of 0 pixels. Now what we do here is, when we have the left, then we translate x to plus 230 pixels. And if it is right, then we move to the negative direction, which is minus 230 pixels. Consider an x-axis and 0 and minus and plus positions here, which is in mathematics. So it works like that. Then we set the slider position to plus or minus according to the direction. So that is basically that logic. Now let's see why the movies are not coming here. We wanted 60 movies. So let's head over to slider.jsx, and here I'm going to console the movies prop, console.log movies. Now refresh this, and we have the movies array, and I don't know, but this is infinitely calling itself. Now let's do one thing. We will wrap the cart slider inside a react.memo function. So I'm going to use react.memo here, and I will pass this entire cart slider component inside it. That's it. Okay, react.memo export default function. So function should be inside the memo. Here, that's it. That should fix it. And now let's do the same for cart.jsx. So what react.memo does is it only renders the function if it has changed any of its props. So our props will not change in this, so we don't want to render it again. So we are wrapping that inside use memo, and card is not defined. Which card is not defined? Okay, function card. So we'll write export default function export. We can do one thing. I'll just grab it, write it here, export default function, and we'll comment this at the end. That's it. Now let's reload this. Do we have the console here or we removed it? So let's head over to slider.jsx and write the console here, console.log, and this is going to be movies, and this is running infinitely. I don't know why. I think we should also wrap this component inside react memo, react.memo, react.memo. Let's refresh this. Okay, I don't know why this is running infinitely. We have to fix that, but as you can see that only 20 of our movies are coming, so we need to head over to index.js inside our store, and where we fetch the movies here, we want to check if it is getting it. Const await axios.get create array from raw data. Now let's console the movies array, console.log movies array here, and it didn't console it. Why is that? Console.log movies arrays. Okay, I think this is being returned from here, return movies array, and this should be outside of here. Yeah, the movies are coming here because what we were doing is, first we'll remove this because the component will run infinite time or else. What was the issue here? Slider component. Reading slice, cannot read properties, slice, movies.slice. So let's, okay, I think we removed the return statement, because of that we are getting the error. Yeah, so everything is fixed and we have this working now. So our basic Netflix setup is complete and the home page is also set up. We have all our movies. Now when we click over this, we'll get this screen. Now what we will do is we'll create this TV shows page and movies page where we get the data by its genres. We can select the genres from a drop down menu. So let's do that. Now let's do this movies page. So inside the pages, I'll create a new page, movies.jsx, movies.jsx, and inside of this I'll write RFC, and now what we will do is I will head over to netflix.jsx and I'm going to copy some code from here. We need this, we'll need this and this. Copy, head over to movies.jsx, paste, and now let's import everything. We need the use state, use navigate, use selector, use dispatch, get genres, use effect, fetch movies, and the type of this would be just movies. We don't want the season. Then yeah, that's it. Let's head over to this movies page and head over to app.jsx and let's define this path route exact path equals to /movies. Element would be movies. We need to import this. That's it. Let's refresh this. Okay, movies is not defined. Did it import it? Movies, yeah, it is imported, and use dispatch is not defined inside movies. Use dispatch. So now this get genres is not defined. So get genres, there's a spelling mistake. Yeah, everything is working now. So what should be done here? Let's do one thing. Let's head over to netflix.jsx. Did we route it here? Let's head over to login.jsx and we will copy this, head over to movies.jsx, and for now I'm going to just keep it here, this thing. Firebase auth is not defined, and I'm going to comment this. And after this, what we'll do is we'll have the styled const container is equals to styled dot dev, and let's replace this with container, and inside this navbar let's pass the scrolled component, not component, the value and the prop. Now we will have the data. Inside the data we'll create a new component as select genre. We'll render this in a minute. Until then we'll write movies dot length if there are movies, then we want to display the slider component, and we'll pass the movies here, or else we'll create a new component named as not available and we will render that. So let's create the not available component. It is nothing but just a text. So let's create it. Components not available .jsx, write RFC, and this is going to be h1, and we'll write no movies available for selected genre, and the class name would be not available. Let's copy the class name, head over to movies, and what we will do here is first we'll import the component not available, and inside of here we'll have the data. Inside that we'll give it a margin top of 8 rem. Then we'll pass that class not available, and then we'll give it a text align of center. Then we'll give it a color of white, and we'll give it a margin top of 4 rem. That's it. Let's head over to movies. We have our movies, and now we'll have a drop down here for selecting the genres. So you can see that there are only movies here. That is different from the home page. If we head over to home page, there would be some series here. So we can see that this Miss Marvel is a series, and the Stranger Things is also a series. So when we head over to movies, we won't be having that. Okay, so we are having this. So I think we missed something. We gave type as movies, fetch movies. Let's head over to this fetch movies. Are we passing the type? Yes, we are passing the type. Okay, I think there is some issue with the API. This is not from our side because the data is changing. So it's not our issue. I think the issue is from them, the API side. They are marking this as a movie. So yeah, but the data is being changed. You can see that here. You will get the idea of the data being changed when we add the genres button here. So let's add that. So for that, we'll create a new component named as select genre.jsx, and inside the select genre.jsx, what we will do is we'll write RFC first, then we'll create const select is equals to styled dot select, and we will replace this divs with select, and this select genre would have genres dot map. So after this, inside this get genre, so first we'll destructure the genres and type here. Now inside this, what we will do is we'll have the genre, then after this we'll return an option with value as genre dot name, and inside here we'll pass value as genre dot id and the key as genre dot id as well, genre dot id. That's it. Now let's import this inside the movies.jsx. So here, where should we import it? So after this, I think we should import it here. Select genre. Let's check. I think everything should work. Okay. I don't know why this is happening. Get genres.map is not function. Okay, we have to pass the genres here. So for that we have to store the genres from here. We'll copy this, paste, and we'll change this to genres, and we will pass the genres here. Genres. That's it. Genres.map is still not a function. So the issue is from here. We are not supposed to have this from get genres. We have to have this from genres. Let's delete this import, and this should be working. We have this here. Let's remove this, and this should be below the navbar. So inside movies.jsx, inside the here, Yeah, this is perfect now. Now, when we select this, we want to change the movies here. So what we will do is we will head over to our store, and we have to get the fetch data by genre function. So let's do that. Let's head over to store, and what we will do is we'll copy this fetch, uh, this one, paste it, and we are going to change this to fetch data by genre, and here we'll have genre, which genre we want to send, and the type, and the thunk API remains the same. We need the genres, and this is gonna change. So remember we had this, so we are gonna copy this and replace this with this here, ampersand with genre. And what mistake did we made here? Get raw data. We need to remove this function call, and this, yeah, this is perfect now. Let's remove this, and we'll pass the genres here, and we don't need the pagination, so we don't want to pass true. And what else should be done? Fetch data by genre, it will return get raw data. Now inside here we'll add a new case, which would be after here builder copy paste, and we will write fetch data by genre, and we'll write state.movies is equals to action.payload. That's it. So you can see that with using Redux, this is very easy. So now inside the select genre component, we will call this and send our genre as soon as there is a change. So let's give it a class name of flex first, class name flex, and on change event e will be passed here, and will dispatch, use dispatch, and use dispatch. Let's get the dispatch is equals to use dispatch, and here we'll write dispatch fetch data by genre, and in here we'll pass object with the genre, then genres, this would be genres. I don't think we have to pass the genres. We'll just pass the genre, and e dot target dot value, and the type. That's it. Now let's head over to index.js here, and for fetch data by genre we had the genre and type. That's it. Now let's head over to select genre here, not here, we'll head over here. And what error do we have here? Console add case cannot be called with two reducers for the same action type. So I found this issue, add case cannot be added. So head over to this function fetch data by genre inside index.js store. So here we have to replace this trending with genres by movies by genres, movies by genres. This could be anything, and I think this should fix the issue, and it has. Now let's change this to adventure, and we got an error that this is undefined. What is undefined? Discover, and type is undefined. So inside movies.jsx we haven't passed type, so we'll pass type as movies. That's it, and this should work now. Let's try that again. We have movies, and this is 404, and this is an issue here. So let me see movies, and I think the type is movie instead of movies. Let's try this again. Adventure, animation, crime, drama. Why this is not being changed? I don't know why. Animation. Let's select horror. I think the state is not being cleared. And why is that happening? Use effect, fetch movies by genres, and I think component is being re-rendered by itself. Because of that, we should be facing an issue. So let's write console.log in use effect. Let's run it again, and we have two in use effect. Let's have adventure, animation. Let's head over to components, and we have this movie component, and we should have a state here. Use selector, these are the movies, and I don't think this is being changed. Music, I don't know why, but these are not being changed. So let's go to index.js store, and let's console here console.log in fetch data. We'll just write this, and so this is going to be genre, and type, let's console it, refresh. Use effect is there, action, adventures, in fetch data 12, and this is movie. So this is working perfect. Now let's console this const data is equals to get raw data, and we'll write console data. Let's have this data adventure array, and why is this calling the same? I'm not sure why is this happening. We changed the API. Get raw data, discover API key with genres, and genre, fetch data by genre, and this API is being called, and will return data.results. Let's console it first. Now let's head over to comedy. I think we just have to return this data. Crime, promise pending, array 60, and this is the same. This is not being changed. Do we have the genre? No. We have the comedy genre, yeah. Comedy, there is no comedy here. This is comedy, this is comedy, this is comedy, this is comedy. I think our movies are perfectly fine. They are coming as it is needed, but it is not replacing here. Why is that? The components are not refreshing. Okay, so this is comedy only. Let's test it again. War, Western, Control Shift I. What is the data returned inside Western? Tom and Jerry, family, Western, yeah, it is here, but this is not updating. So let me check. Did I missed something? Fetch movies, and the movies should be updating. State.movies, action.payload. This is perfect. Now inside movies.jsx, the movies would change here, and I don't know what we missed here. So give me a minute, I'll resolve the issue and continue the video. So I have found the issue inside movies.jsx. Inside the second use effect, we have to add a empty bracket here, so it only runs once, and same inside netflix.jsx. We forgot that. Because of that we were having the issue. I think I have to remove the true alert inside movies.jsx. Did I remove it? I did. I think I just have to close this and open a new one. Close it. Okay, so now no movies available for selected genre. Comedy, fantasy. Okay, so fantasy is available. For adventure, music. So we do have some errors in use effect. No movies available for selected genre. So let's console.log, and let's see genres loaded. I think we have to call this whenever genres loaded is changed. Same goes for the netflix.jsx here. Yeah, this should work now. Movies are coming. Now let's select animation. Okay, so it has changed. Now let's select fantasy. Okay, it is being changed. We were successful. Now when I select horror, it will get the horror movies. Now when we select TV movie, so it will select that kind of movies. So that's it. So this is successful. Now we just have to style this component. So we will style that inside movies.jsx. But what should we do here? Movies.jsx, and I think this is from the select genre. The styles are from select genre. So let's head over to select genre, and what should we do here? We'll give it a margin left of 5 rem, then cursor of pointer, font size of 1.4 rem, background color of RGBA 0.4. That's it. And a color of white. Color white. This is white and this is color. So yeah, that's it. Perfect. So our movies is also working. Now we'll have this TV shows, and all the functionalities would be same. We'll just duplicate this component of movies.jsx. Do we have a duplicate? No, we don't have. We just copy the file, copy and paste, and we'll rename this to TV shows.jsx, TV shows.jsx, and let's head over to TV shows and head over to app.jsx app.jsx, and we'll copy this, we'll paste it, and this is going to be shows TV shows, and this is going to be TV. Now let's head over to TV shows, and we have to change this function to TV shows, and let's head over to save it, and let's head over to app.jsx, and here this is TV, and this is going to auto import TV shows. Yeah, this is working the same, but now what we are going to do inside the TV shows is we'll just change, head over to TV shows first, TV shows, and change this type to TV. No, initially it should be, yeah, it should be TV, and here after this we'll have this as TV, and the show should change. Yeah, we have just the seasons now. Now when we select horror, we have no available series. Crime, so these are the series. So yeah, TV shows is also done. Now we'll have to do this MyList. So what we'll do in the MyList, that when we hover over this and when we click on this plus button, we will add this to MyList page. So for that we have to create a node server and everything. So let's get started with that. So now let's set up our node app. For that I will close this and create a new folder as Netflix-API, and I'll open a new terminal here, and I will head over to Netflix API, and I will write npm init -- yes, and I will add dependencies, yarn add express, course, mongoose, and nodemon. So nodemon is for starting the server when there are changes, then mongoose is the for MongoDB API, then express is for the express framework, and the cores are for cores request. Now inside package.json we'll add a new script start, and this would be nodemon server.js and comma, that's it. Now inside Netflix API we'll have new file server.js, import, here we'll write const express is equals to require express. After this we'll have const course is equals to require course, then we'll have mongoose. For that, for mongoose equal to require mongoose. After that we'll have our app from express, then we'll write app.use course, this is for the course request, then we'll write app.use express.json, then we'll write app.listen on port 5000, and we'll write console.log server started. Let's start the server by yarn start. Yeah, the server is started. Now let's connect to MongoDB. So I'll write mongoose dot connect connect, and so now I have my MongoDB compass here. I will click any of the link here and copy this, and inside mongoose.connect I will pass that string here, and I'm going to remove all of this query, and after this I'll just write the Netflix, and that is the database that we want to connect. Then I'll pass new what was it, use new URL parser, use new URL parser as true, and we'll pass use unified topology as true. Now after that we'll pass then, and this would receive an arrow function, and we'll write console.log db connected. Let's restart. Yeah, server started and db connected. That's it. Now let's create 3 folders, which is controllers, then we will have models and routes. So we are following the MVC structure. So inside the controllers I'll write user controller.js. Inside models I'll write user model.js, and inside the routes I will write user routes.js. So we'll head over to user routes.js. No, we'll head over to user model first. So user model, and we'll create our mongoose model. So I'll write const mongoose equal to require mongoose. After that we'll create a user schema. User schema is equals to new mongoose dot schema. This is new mongoose. Okay, we don't need this mongoose dot schema, and we'll pass email, which is going to be string, and we can pass the required and unique and max. Yeah, we should pass that. It's a nice practice. So we'll pass type as string, then we'll pass required as true, then we'll pass unique as true, we'll pass max as 50. After that we'll have liked movies. This is going to be the array of the liked movies. So that's it, and this is going to be user schema, not user scheme, user schema. And we'll then have module.exports equals to mongoose.model, and this is going to be users and users and user schema. That's it. Now after this we'll head over to user controller and create our first controller to add a like movie. So for const user equals to require models and user model, then we'll write module.exports add to liked movies equals to async request response, and that's it. We'll create this afterwards. Then inside this routes we are going to use that. For that we'll write const router equals to require express, and we'll call the router here. After that we'll write router dot post, and we'll have the add method, and we'll have the add to liked movies controller that should be imported from the controllers, and we'll have module dot exports equal to router, and this router is going to be imported inside server.js. So after this mongoose I will write const user routes equals to require routes, and this is going to be user routes. And after this after the database I will write app.use, and this is going to be /API/user and user routes. That's it. Now let's head over to user controller, and we can create our add to liked movies controller. So for that, what we'll do is we'll wrap our code in try and catch block, try catch, error. First we'll console the error. No, we can do one thing. We'll return response.json and we can pass the message as error adding movie. That's it. Now let's do one thing. What we will do here is we'll get the email and data from request.body. So yeah, we would need an email. So in which email we want to add the data, so we need that email, and the data would contain the movie image, movie name, movie description and genres, and that's all. So we'll add that into the array. So what we'll do is we'll await user.find1. We'll check if there is a user. We'll check if there is a user with the given email. If there is a user, then what we will do is we'll get the liked movies from the user, and we'll get movie already liked array equals to liked dot movies. So we'll check if the movie is already liked by user. If it is liked, then we don't want to add it to the liked movies, so we'll negate the condition of movie already liked. And if it is not liked, then we'll have await user dot find by id and update. Will pass user dot underscore id and will pass liked movies as dot user and liked movies, and will pass the data. So this is user dot liked movies, not user slash liked movies. So we'll use user dot liked movies and data. Then we want this as new document, so we'll pass new as true. We have an error here. What is it? Okay, comma, and after this we'll have an else. Return res.json as message as movie already added to the liked list. And after this else, we'll again have an else await user dot create, and we'll pass the email and liked movies array with a single value of data. This is await, and after this we'll write return response.json. Message would be movie added successfully. That's it. So what we did here, we'll check the user. If there is a user, then this code will be executed. If there is not a user with the given email, then we'll create the user by the email and add the liked movies in the data. Then this code is self-explanatory. Then let's use this inside the use controller. I'm going to connect this, and for now we don't have the Netflix. Yeah, we have the Netflix and we have the users, and inside the users we don't have any user. So let's create the user and add it. So for that, what should we do? I think we should head over to uh, card.jsx and we should add everything from there. So let's head over to card.jsx, and what should we do here? Do we have the auth state change? So let's get that from login. Copy card and we'll create a component. This would be const email set email is equals to use state, and initially this would be undefined, and if there is a current user we don't want to navigate it. So if there is a current user, what we'll do is we'll set email as current user dot email, or else we want to navigate to login. That's it. Now we'll create a function const add to list as async, and we'll wrap this in try catch error console.log error, and inside the try we'll write await axios dot post, and this is going to be http://localhost:/API/user/add, and we'll pass in the email and data as movie data, and movie data would be grabbed from here. No, it would be grabbed from the global state. So add to list would be called in from I think in the is liked. Do we have the is liked? Yeah, is liked. Add to list, and we'll write here on click equal to add to list. That's it. Now let's try this. On auth state changed is not defined. Firebase auth, and I think axios should be imported. That's it. Let's save it. This is working. Let's head over to home and like any of this, like, and refresh the database. Now everything should work. Yeah, we have our array. Now in the liked movies we would have an object, Miss Marvel, image, and genres. Yeah, everything is perfect. So our adding movies liked movies to the database is working. So this would work from TV shows also. So let's refresh this, and liked movies. Okay, it's not being added. Let's go to home and add this one, this one, this one, and refresh it again. Refresh. Okay, there is only one app crashed because of syntax error user.create. Okay, this was not from there. Let's open the console, the network, and check do we are getting any error. So this is XHR movie already added to the liked list. Movie already added to the liked list. So why is that happening? Let's head over to user controller.js. If id, okay, we have to write triple equals to here. if id triple equals to data.id, then we want to do this. So this should work now. Batman, Doctor Strange, everything, everywhere, all at once. Refresh. Liked movies, yeah, we have the all arrays. So yeah, this is working now. Perfect. So now what we'll do is we'll have this MyList and have the data displayed here. So let's do that. So now let's create the controller for getting the liked movies. So we'll write module.exports equals to, not module.exports dot equals to, we'll write get liked movies equals to async request response, and then we'll have try catch error, and we'll console, not console, I'll just return this JSON error fetching movies, and inside the try block what we'll do is we'll grab this, not this, we'll just grab email. So const email equals to request dot body, then we'll find one, the email, this one, and now if there is a user, then what we will do is we'll return this dot JSON message as success and movies as user dot liked movies, and if there is not a user, then we'll return res dot JSON with message as user with given email not found. That's it. So this is our controller, as simple as that. Now let's head over to user model, not model, user routes, and we have to add that route here. So we'll write router dot get, and this is going to be liked slash colon email, and add to liked, add to liked movies, not add to liked, we'll write get liked movies, get liked movies, and inside the user controller here, this is from request.params, params, not body. That's it. Now head over to index.js of store, and in here we'll add two thunk middlewares after this. So we'll write export const get user liked movies equals to create async thunk, and we'll write Netflix slash get liked, and then async email equals to arrow function, will get const data, and inside the data we will need movies, and this is going to be await axios dot get http colon slash slash localhost colon 5000 slash api slash user slash liked, and we'll pass in $email here, and this is going to be template strings because we want to pass the variable there. Email is get from there, and we'll return movies. That's it. I think we have an error here. What is that? axios.get. I don't think we have any error, but why are the colors change of the brackets? Let's check the UI. I think I have to open it again. Local host 3000. No, we don't have any error, but I don't know why the colors are changed. Let's leave that for now. $email, everything is perfect. Let's do that afterwards. So after this, we'll head over at the end here in the add cases. So we'll copy this and I'll just write get user liked movies. Okay, so after that, what should we do is await axios.get. Okay, so now let's head over to TV shows. No, we'll add a new page which is userliked.jsx rfc. Now head over to app.jsx and we'll have another route which is user liked, and the route would be, let's check it from Navbar. What route did we give here? It was MyList. So head over to here and we'll replace this with MyList, and let's go to MyList. We have user liked here. So now inside user liked, what should we do? Let's go to movies.jsx and copy all of this, use effect and everything, auth state changed. Head over to user liked and we are going to paste it here, and again movies.jsx, and we are going to copy all of these dependencies and paste it here. And I think this is not here, we copied and pasted 2 times, which is unnecessary. Now we'll write const container is equals to styled dot div, and this is going to be container, not containers, container. And now, so first we don't need the genres here now, and in this use effect we'll check if there is an email. If there is an email, then we will dispatch get user liked movies, and we'll pass in the email. And for the email, let's head over to card.jsx and we are going to copy this and paste it here, and we are going to remove this on auth change which was below here. Remove. That's it. So now what should we do here? Inside here we'll have the Navbar and is scrolled as is scrolled. Then we'll have content with flex and column. Inside that we'll have h1 MyList Then inside MyList we'll have grid with flex. Inside that we'll have movies dot map movie index, and we'll return, what should we return? And yeah, return card. Yeah, we should return the card component here. So let's grab the card, and movie data is movie, then index is index, key is index. No, we'll write movie.id because movies are not repeated, and is liked as true. Let's check it. My list, everything is here. We just have to style this now. So let's style this. Now here inside content, margin 2.3 rem, margin top would be of 8 rem, gap of 3 rem is required, h1 margin left of 3 rem, and with grid we'll give it a flex wrap and gap of 1 rem. That's it. Yeah, everything is looking perfect now, and this is complete. We have tick mark here because it is liked. And now where are we getting all the movies here? Okay, so I think we are getting all the movies that are not liked. We just want to get the liked movies. So for that, okay, dispatch, use dispatch. We don't need this genres, so let's remove that. And yeah, we don't need this use effect. It's reloading our movies, I think. My list. Okay, we don't have anything in my list. Get user liked movies. Genres loaded. We don't need this too. Set email. And we'll give this, and whenever this email properties change, we want to run it. And let's check if our API is being called. Refresh. Okay, so user liked failed response, no data found for response given identifier. So let's check console. Okay, we have errors here. So what are those? Router.arguments liked email. Okay, so let's head over to user routes. Okay, this is not arguments. This is router.get. This should work now. Or not. Yeah, it is working now. So we are getting all our liked movies. Let's add some more. Let's add this, from this, and this. Let's go to my list. And yeah, we are having this movies, but we added some more movies. Why did those fail? No, it hasn't failed. I think my mouse was not working. Yeah, my mouse was not working properly, so it is working now. Let's have an API to delete this on click of this. So let's do that. So now let's head over to user controller and add a new controller, module.exports and .remove from liked movies equals to async request response try catch. Let's do one thing. Yeah, try catch error return. We'll copy this, paste it, error deleting movie, and inside try we'll get this from this here, copy and paste. So this is, instead of data we have movie ID here. We'll grab the user, if there is a user, then we'll get the liked movies. So liked movies, so let's name this as movies. Okay, there's no need for that. And then we'll find the movie index. So const movie index equals to liked movies dot find index, and this is going to be this thing, copy paste and the bracket here more, and this is going to be movie ID. We'll remove this and we'll have this as if not movie movie index. Then what should we do if there is no movie index? Then we'll write rest.status as 400 and send message as movie not found. That's it. And after this we'll have movies dot not movies dot splice, liked movies dot splice, and we'll have movie index and 1. We'll remove this from that, and after this we'll remove this condition and we'll have a bracket here more, and yeah, that's it. So now let's head over to user.routes, and here we'll add a route for delete. So we'll write router.put and delete, then we'll write delete. What was the function name? Remove from liked movies. Remove from liked movies, this one. That's it. Now let's head over to here inside the index.js store, and what we will do here is yeah, we'll make a function like this. We'll grab this, paste it, and this is going to be remove from liked movies. That's it. And this is going to be API user delete. We are going to remove this, and this is going to be a put request. Put, and what did I write here? Routes delete, yeah. And we'll pass the object of email and movie ID. So we'll grab the email and movie ID, and this is going to be delete liked. That's it. And return movies. And now we'll copy this case, paste it, and this is going to be just delete what was it? Remove from liked movies. Yeah, remove movie from liked movies. Yeah, this one. That's it. Now Let's head over to card.jsx. Card.jsx, and what should we do here? We will just call the dispatch method from here, add to list, and remove from the list. We'll add on click here, and we'll pass dispatch. So we have to create the dispatch first. So let's grab it from any of the component, movies.jsx. So where is the dispatch? Dispatch here, card, paste here anywhere, and inside of here we'll use this dispatch, and we'll dispatch remove from liked movies, and we'll pass movie id as movie data.id, and we'll pass the email. I'm not sure if we have the email here. Do we have the email? Yeah, we have the email, and I think we also have to import this use dispatch, and everything should work as expected now. Refresh. Okay, use dispatch from React Redux. That's it. Now let's click this, and we have an error. What was the error? Let's delete any of the movie again. Clear this, delete API is call, and we have error deleting movie. Why was that? Let's head over to user controller, and error deleting movie. We'll write console.log error, and why are we getting an error? Delete and open the console. Data is not defined. So where do we have used the data? Okay, this one. So for this we just have to pass the liked movies, nothing else. So liked movies, and yeah, that's it. That should work now. Delete, and this is pending. Why is that? DB started. Await. Okay, we have to return here. We haven't returned the movies, so I'll write return response.json and message movie deleted and the movies array. So I'll just give it a liked movies, and this is going to be movies. Let's test it again. Delete, and error deleting movie. Why error? Liked movies is not defined. Liked movies. Okay, so this should be inside here. That's it. Reload. Movie has deleted, and yeah, it's working. So yeah, so everything is working, and our Netflix clone is complete. Let's add more emergency. MyList emergency, it is here. Let's play it. Let's go back, remove this, remove. Okay, this is not working again. Why is that? Control Shift I, remove, delete, and this is pending. Cannot set headers after headers sent. Cannot send headers after they are sent to the client. Let's restart the server and do everything again. remove this, this and this, no issues. And let's add it again, add MyList. Let's add some more, Peaky Blinders, Spy Family, Better Call Saul, and head over to MyList. Yeah, we have the movies and everything is working now. Yeah, everything is working. I don't know why this error came. This might be because of the nodemon. So yeah, everything is fixed and our Netflix clone is complete. So if you have liked this video, please subscribe to the channel and like this video to spread it more. This is me, Kishan, signing out.